Watching Wake Up Wisconsin Weekend. Here's what's happening right now.
This morning, nearly a quarter of Wisconsin is in a state of emergency. Flooding taking over towns. We'll have a live report in just about 3 minutes.
Wisconsin's water levels are rising, homes are in danger, and some of those floodwaters are so deep you can swim in them.
You're watching Wake Up Wisconsin Weekend.
Good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Caroline Bach.
I'm Savannah Tomei.
And I'm Star Dairy. Today is Saturday, July 22nd.
And of course, Star, we're dealing with this flooding that's really over a big portion of our state. 17 counties are still under a state of emergency.
Yeah, it's a huge concern. And what I'm going to show you first is the statewide rainfall totals over the last 48 hours so that you can see what a difference it makes if you're in the northern half of the state or the southern. You can see some portions of central and northern Wisconsin have picked up hardly any rainfall over the last 48 hours, but you go from central down to southern Wisconsin and we're talking about significant rainfall numbers. I'll bring it in here to the hardest hit area and turn on these totals for you so you can see closer to Madison only around an inch in some spots. There have been areas in Madison that have gotten more than that, but this is our Doppler indicated total. So Richland Center 2.5. Look at as we get down toward Lafayette County, over 4.5 inches, some over 5-inch totals. Look at Grant County, 7-inch rain totals in 48 hours. That's why we're seeing significant flooding across the area, and you're going to see some very serious pictures over the next couple of minutes that we're going to show you. But you can see these bright red and pink colors indicating just how much rain they've gotten. The good news is we're finally going to start wrapping this up here, at least for the areas hardest hit in central and southern Wisconsin. So you can see some of this just continuing to pour the rain over Grant, Lafayette, and even parts of Iowa County over the last couple of hours. But now we're going to start to see that fizzle out, and over the next hour or two, this should finally be out of southern Wisconsin. But that being said, not the end of the rain for everyone. Still some rain over central and northern Minnesota, and we did see actually some alerts light up from this as well. Bringing on over to northern Wisconsin, nice and quiet, just some fair weather clouds. But as I mentioned, this part of central and southern Wisconsin is still going to be our main concerns. You can see the red boxes outlining where there are still flood warnings in place for the next couple of hours. And then you see all of the green. That's all where flash flooding is still going to be a concern throughout the morning. So if you are heading out this morning, keep in mind, even if you're going out to hike, yes, the rain is wrapping up, but flood water is still going to be an issue. We're going to continue to talk about this for the next couple of minutes as well. Back over to you, Savannah and Carol.
Yeah, Star, thanks. Right now, 17 counties in Wisconsin are in a state of emergency because of this flooding. Governor Walker declared that even before the last round of rain we got last night. So this morning, we're seeing the effects of the rain that fell last night.
Yeah, Catherine Larson is standing by live outside Potosi. Catherine, what are things like for you this morning?
Well, Caroline, right now everything is okay. Things are a little bit drier than they had been earlier this morning. There are, though, a few sprinkles as the light does come up. Just to give you an idea, we're right here off of Highway 151 here in Grant County, and behind me this road takes you down to Potosi. It's about a 25-minute drive down there, and about 20 minutes in we got to all that flooded water, but we just could not get a signal out to show you that. But it is greatly impacted. There is so much damage that you can see there. And speaking of damage, Steve Braun, the Director of Emergency Management here in Grant County, he has had a wild night surveying the damage and also dealing with so many calls about water rescues. In fact, he had one insane one. It is truly insane to describe this one. Such a chaotic scene. I'll let him take it away.
Well, we did have one elderly gentleman at a campground who was rescued from a camper that was actually floating. We had a swiftwater rescue. We had a number of swiftwater rescue teams standing by in the area from not just Grant County, but some of our neighboring communities that were handling calls. And they all came in almost simultaneously as the storm hit. And so, yeah, between rescuing people from their homes in Cassville and in some of the rural areas, the swiftwater folks were pretty busy.
Everyone has been pretty busy. And speaking of Cassville, it has caused the Cassville Fire Department and EMS to open a temporary shelter for people. They're taking in families right now and their pets. That fire station is located at 310 West Amelia Street in Cassville. People in Grant County with bad damage from these storms, they are urged to report it to the Grant County Emergency Management Office. I'm going to read this number out twice. It is 608-723-7171. Again, 608-723-7171. Now back out here live, what I can tell you is that the Red Cross is coming down to Cassville later today. We understand there are about a dozen families impacted by this sheer devastation, and we'll have more for you on all of that coming up at the bottom of the hour. For now, we're live in Grant County. Catherine Larson, Wake Up Wisconsin.
Catherine, thank you. Really good news that nobody has been hurt there. Now, as she mentioned, the damage assessments in Grant County are starting now that the sun has started to rise.
We have a traffic alert just in from Darlington. Main Street is closed because of flooding. That is also State Highways 81 and 23 in that area.
Part of the village of Blanchardville is underwater this morning, but people in town say it's something they've seen before. The Pecatonica River reached 13.9 feet yesterday. Moderate flood stage is 14 feet. It's turned the baseball field in McKellar Park into a lake and completely covered the village pool. With that pool closed, take a look at what some people are doing, swimming in that flood water. But it's not just the water that's going to be causing damage on its own.
There's a lot of pesticides and stuff like that that have probably been rainwater and everything else in fields that have come through the river, and we don't recommend anybody swimming.
It takes about 12 hours to go 5 or 6 miles.
That right there is Blanchardville Village President Mark Emberson. He says once the floodwater recedes, the pool will be drained and cleaned.
Mother Nature not sparing the Rock River. At some spots, it's already overflowed the banks, submerging parts of trees and what used to be the shoreline. Plus, the water is moving fast. The county's emergency management team says people living along the river are at risk for flooding. Some of these homes are just feet away from the water. It's a scene some are actually used to by now, but this morning the Town of Rock chairperson is calling this ongoing pattern unprecedented.
It's just unheard of, you know, and of course with that comes flooding, and the soils are so saturated, you know, right now, and you know the runoff is, you know, happening, and it doesn't take much rain or precipitation to make water to sit because of the soils all being saturated.
That's why Rock County officials have put 40 tons of sand at the town hall in Afton. They want everyone to be prepared who are by the river because it's expected to rise at least another foot or more over the weekend.
Last night's round of rain had people in flood damage. Burlington on edge. If the Fox River there rises just 1 foot, it'll be at flood stage. More than a week ago, Tom Greisman put sandbags outside his home, but the water still came in.
Damage is done as far as I'm concerned. Hey, you know, bring it on. It's not going to do anything worse than what we've been through.
Greisman says his family will be okay. They've got flood insurance, but some of his neighbors aren't as fortunate.
If you were looking to visit a state park this weekend, you may have to make other plans. This week's storms have flooded several of them. The DNR says portions of trails are closed at Blue Mounds, Governor Nelson, Tower Hill, Governor Dodge, Wildcat Mountain, and Parrott State Parks. Part of the state trails also closed, including Badger, Military Ridge, Sugar River, Elroy Sparta, the 400, and Great River.
Time now is 6:08, and in a developing story this morning, the Minneapolis police chief has resigned following the shooting of an unarmed woman. Chief Janae Harto stepped down last night. The mayor of Minneapolis says she asked for Harto's resignation because she had lost confidence in her. But when she made that announcement, there were calls for the mayor's resignation too.
I will not be resigning. And like I said, it is understandable to me that, you know, people's frustration is high. I share that frustration.
Harto was out of the city when an officer shot and killed Justine DeMond Saturday night. Officers were responding to her call about a possible sexual assault.
We are learning more about potential contact between the Trump campaign and Russia. The Washington Post says Attorney General Jeff Sessions discussed campaign-related issues with the Russian ambassador. It comes from conversations between the ambassador and his superiors in Moscow that were intercepted by U.S. spy agents. Sessions has said repeatedly that he did not discuss campaign matters with Russian officials. In the meantime, Donald Trump Jr. and Paul Manafort have both agreed to cooperate with the Senate committee investigating Russian meddling in the election. Both will provide provide documents and will be privately interviewed before a public hearing. Both men face questions about a meeting with a Russian lawyer in June of last year.
But the biggest story at the White House in the last 24 hours, the shakeup in the communications team. Sean Spicer is out as press secretary and Sarah Huckabee Sanders is in. Spicer says he resigned to give a fresh start to the newly named White House communications director, Anthony Scaramucci.
Back home, the planes are already landing in Oshkosh ahead of the EAA AirVenture.
The annual fly-in convention starts Monday at Whitman Regional Airport in Oshkosh. Vendors were allowed to start setting up for the show.
They're flying their airplanes in. It's the start of the show. It's the start of what we call aviation's family reunion.
Historic aviation achievements, legendary pilots, and groundbreaking innovations will all be featured. AirVenture draws more than 500,000 people every year. Brewers fans are still waiting for the club to show back up from the All-Star break. The team is really just in free fall.
They are. After a 4-game sweep at the hands of the Pirates, Milwaukee moving across the state to face the Phillies. This was not a good omen. Freddie Galvis takes Matt Garza deep in the first inning. Garza allowed 2 runs over 5 innings. Brett Phillips has been one of the few bright spots in the past week. The rookie hit his second homer and had a nice catch at center, but you can see why the Brewers are shopping for bullpen help. Carlos Torres tagged for 4 runs in 1/3 of an inning's work. The Brewers drop the 6th straight game. The final 6-1 for this one.
We have an update on the Madison teenager we first told you about 2 weeks ago. Remember 14-year-old Awander Liang? Well, he won the 2017 U.S. Junior Chess Championship. It's another title for the chess master. He's already the youngest American to achieve a master rating and the youngest American to earn an international master title. It's also some redemption. Awander finished 2nd at the juniors last year. Good for him.
A Wisconsin girl beating the odds on the track gets to meet one of her idols. You won't want